Hello. Oh, Lord, my hair. Okay. How are you guys doing? Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. All right. So I'm going to be doing a reading for empaths. I know it says Pisces in the title, but it's for you if you resonate. Whether you're Piscean or not, if you resonate, then it's your message, okay? I asked, and what I was told is the pieces are coming together and it is mind-blowing. Yay. Yay. Pieces are coming together. So, I'm deciding, should I behave or should I blow the lid on something? You guys got to be careful about what you say now. You got to be careful about what you say now. It's very important that you are aware of the different changes that are occurring in the world, especially on social media. So just be careful about the types of subject matter that you openly discuss. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. So let's get started. I'm gonna get a few cards. We got a few cards. We're gonna make it a blue day. Okay. Blue and purple. That's what we're gonna do. All right. Let me just I think my box is crooked. I have you guys on a moving box. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Just don't move around too much, okay? I don't want you falling off the box. Oh, cards are being thrown. Ooh. Okay. It's already getting like, it's getting crunk. it's getting. So yesterday, I had put up a video on the most recent platform, and I was talking about direct port injection through the sacral chakra, right? And you can see that it's right on my chest. And like, for real, within a few minutes, I get a notification on my phone and they've completely taken down the video. And then later that evening, and it's not someone doing this, it's the platform itself. Later that evening, my husband put up a video so that a client can view their private session. It's not publicly accessible, so the client is the only one that has the link, and this other platform took down that video, like immediately deleted it off the platform, because we were having a conversation pertaining to something that I cannot say anymore because it goes against the guide something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So there are definitely changes going on. We thought that PayPal was the only one doing this type of foolery. No, it's not just PayPal. PayPal was just going to be the one where they were going to really stick it to you. So if my social media stuff ever fully gets removed, you can find me. I have a private platform that I can use to live stream from. It's no thing, not even a chicken wing. It is really no thing. You find me on my website, meevolving.com. I could live stream from there privately. They can't remove my videos there. I actually pay for that service. So, yeah, I'm just preparing us for quite possibly what is the inevitable. Exactly. This right here. This right here. A ding ding ding. A ding ding ding. All right, the cards are ready. Let me stop pushing the buttons. Okay, let me stop pushing the boundaries. So, there's always a way around it. There's always a way around it. All right, so the cycles are in reverse. There's something going on and it's causing everything to turn on its head. Some might say that it was because of a recent eclipse. Some might say that it's because we're entering into that portal date. I would say it's because we are being accelerated towards an event horizon, personally, like on a personal level, as well as on a collective level, right? Did you like that head movement? Concealment. There's something being hidden. Oh, no. No, 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 Michaela. Let me just breathe. Oh, I feel like this is going to be a very intense reading. I think this is going to be more like a collective read than a personal Piscean read. Okay. Cleansing. There's something that's being cleansed from the environment, and whatever is being cleansed is also being concealed. I wonder if it's the truth. I wonder if the truth is being rinsed of any vestiges of truth. Oh, the second coming of Thoth. Which, by the way, because I called this archaic, potentially archetypal figure a hobag, I got banned from live streaming on TikTok. I got banned. I got banned for live streaming because I called this archetypal being a low grade hobag while I was live. So, the second coming of Thoth. Yes. A lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of people feel like Thoth. Yeah, already. Y'all, Jesse don't know how I roll. You don't know yet, huh? You don't know yet. So a lot of people misunderstand what Toth did because there's two conflicting stories. The most dangerous aspect of that Tahuti drama, it has to do with the use of half truth. Half truth mixed with full on lie is very difficult to disprove. It creates division, creates separation, and that's what's happening right now. It's the second coming of that cycle. You have to make sure that you're aware of how this is going to affect your personal life. If you don't take the time to really understand how these cycles are going to affect you, you're going to get sucked into it. But if you do take the time to understand and to see how, excuse me, it changes the social climate, then what ends up happening is you can duck and dodge. You can duck and dodge. So we just got to make sure. We just got to make sure that we're super aware of the way we communicate, what we are communicating, and who is listening to the communication. Okay. There are a lot of pieces that you'll soon begin to understand how they interconnect. The interconnectedness of all these events in your life It's going to help you to reach higher and more expanded levels of awareness. You got to be aware. I cannot emphasize that enough. You have to begin using discernment. There are those who they really are just set in their ways. And if you think that you're going to be the one to teach them, I promise you, you're not. These are time waster type opportunities. It is an opportunity to waste your time. Focus all of your effort, all of your energy, all of your intention on expanding your awareness about the things you need to be aware of. Okay? So, it's really important. We're going to be entering into a cycle where there's going to be a lot of situations and people, circumstance that is going to basically beg you to involve yourself. I know for most of you who resonate with me, we are exactly the same. Like, we cannot stand injustice. We can't just sit around and be quiet as, we're watching things happening. um be careful that someone isn't coming to you and giving you a story, not actually telling you what's happening, but giving you a version of what's happening to get you on their side. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stay in that space of neutral. Either you can allow them to continue to vent to you and just, continue to remind yourself that this is all it is. They are venting. I'm not here to save them from anything. They create these situations for themselves. If you can't do that, which half the time I cannot, half the time I cannot. So you're going to have to find the courage to be like, I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to enter into a peaceful space within myself. And I'm sorry, I can't be present for you venting. I know you're going through something, but I just can't. I'm really sorry. Right? We're like, or even if you don't want to, if you don't want to explain it, you could do something as like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Hey, I have to get going. I'll have to call you back later. Which anyone who's ever spoken to me privately, um, whether I intend to call you back or not, I always just never call people back. I never message people back. Like, it's a horrible thing that I do. I've done it for years. I will be like, hey, let me call you back. I got to go do something. And I usually do have to go do something. I have a ton of kids, yo. A lot of kids, a lot of things I got to do. So I'll be like, I'll call you back. And then I just literally never do. Even before I was publicly visible, I just never do. So, find a way to get yourself out of that situation where you're being enticed to get sucked in. Okay. Ooh, Gaze says I hang up the phone, then blame the battery. Um, I just learned a better way to do that, Gaze. Life hacks. So instead of hanging up the phone, because then they'll know, because it'll say call ended, you go ahead and you click airplane mode. Because then it will because then it will like cut off the connection but not hang up right away. And if you leave it on airplane mode long enough, then it says call lost. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? There's a better way to do it. I mean, then you just are like, I'm so sorry. I didn't have connectivity. I just don't know. Um, I lost connection. I'll have to talk to you later. I don't do that. I don't even answer phone calls. I just don't even answer. It's extremely rare for me to answer the phone. Ask my husband. I half the time I don't even answer when he calls. I'm like, "What? We live together. You know where I am." You know where I am. It's like no biggie. You can tell me when you're face to face. It's all good. Or text me. Oh, that's not my secret. I don't do that because I don't answer the phone. I don't answer the phone. Yeah, usually the only time I answer the phone is if it's like a work type thing or like, say I'm calling a utility company or something like that. That's really, or, I know it's the bank calling me. And I have no problem hanging up on people. Yeah, no, my husband cracks up because I always hang up on people. I'm just like, no, sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll ask them flat out. They'll be like, "Hi, is so and so available? Is there an issue?" And they'll be like, "Is this so and so? Is there an issue?" And then they'll begin telling me, "No, not interested." Click, and I'll hang up. I can't. I don't play with people like that. But I'm saying if y'all, my son told me about this trick. If y'all have a hard time getting off the phone, that's something that you could do. That's something you could do. But now that I've said it, I mean, hopefully your cross watcher is not watching me. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Feminine. So this has to do with the reclamation of that feminine energy. We each have both masculine and feminine energy within us. And the feminine energy is what, when it's balanced, it's the energy that's used for you to talk, um, kind of like openly about who you are, to be your most authentic self. It's something that's very, very potent, to say the least. It's very, very potent type energy. Now, this is not to say that I'm saying the opposite is true for the masculine energy. No, the feminine energy is something that we all need to tap into at this point. Because if you look at nature, right? If you look at nature, what ends up happening is the female is usually much more deadlier than the male. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's that term mama bear. That's for a reason. Okay. You ever been to a state park, a national park, and there's a wild bear walking loose, and everyone's kind of just watching from a large distance. But the moment a mama bear, the moment it's a mama bear, like you need to leave. She will F you up for her babies. You need to leave. You need to leave her alone. Don't even take pictures. Completely leave the area. Right. So it's like that. That's the kind of energy the feminine energy is. And now she's right side up. And so that's telling me that the correction is being made. And because that correction is successfully being made, the collective is going to feel this and feel empowered. And what's going to end up happening is an upside down cycle is going to be initiated where there's more storylines, there are more official whatevers. I never believe any of the official anything ever, you know? I never believe it because it's kind of just one of those things of, um, why are they telling us this story? Is this the whole story? Because based on the, you know, the known history, the official story is usually the official lie. So be careful, okay? Be careful about allowing yourself to get caught up in all of that official storyline stuff. It would probably be best if you just completely um detach from like current event type updates. I don't even want to say the NEWS word. Heaven forbid I get another fucking community strike. um, yeah. So you just really have to be careful. And there are those who are really helping to prop up and continue feeding the matrix that we exist within, right? And if you're going to be dealing with someone who's doing that, you're not the one that's going to teach them something else. Like, leave that alone. That's ego based. Don't let yourself fall for that. That is very ego based, and you're going to get yourself into a whole lot of something you don't need. Okay. You're going to get yourself into something that you don't need to get yourself into. Now is the time. We're entering into a recession, right? We're already in the recession. This is a time where the people who have the cajones, uh, you can actually create wealth during the times of recession. If you can position yourself just right, if you can make the investments and the things that you are discerning are good investments, you can really turn your situation around. You can really, really put yourself in a space that is an elevation of where you currently are, right? So, last time we entered into a recession, 2008, that's when we decided to, in 2000 something else, I don't know, somewhere around there, we were still in a recession. We decided to make some, power moves, low income power moves. It's okay. And we were able to change our situation, which then became a stepping stone to get to a different situation that is even more elevated. I mean, we've never been rich, but making these moves within these periods where we are being told, like, no, you're not allowed to excel and succeed and elevate. Everyone has to remain with your eyes focused on the floor. No, that's when you need to begin thinking with abundance. This is the period we are entering into. What can you do that is minimal investment, maximum return? See, people think that when you enter into a recession, and I'm not an economist, I'm just looking at human psychology. If we are in a recession, people are not going to be spending big ticket. They're not. I wouldn't. I'm like, no, I'm not going to spend that. I'm not. But guess what? I will buy extra lip liner because it's like $4. I want to feel good today. Okay. I will get some like new curl cream because I want my hair to not be frizzy today. And that's like $3, $5, right? So because people are not able to spend those big ticket um items, big vacations and things like that, if you can find something that you are passionate about, and that passion can be infused into whatever your product is, and it's priced just right, you can be part of that wealth transfer. You can transfer some of that to you. I mean, for some of you, you'll be able to do this to a degree where you're going to be wealthy. You're going to be wealthy. And then there's others of us who will be able to do this to a degree where now maybe we don't have to rent anymore. Now maybe we can buy a condo that's the same size as the condo we're living in, but at least we own it now. We're not renting anymore. See, it's things like that, just little things like that, that end up becoming big things for you later. This exact thing that happened during the last recession for us. We only had X amount of kids and we were stuffed in a condo because, I mean, yeah, we didn't have too many kids. And then it was this thing of the condo is too small for us. And everyone told me not to buy because we're in a recession, because this, because that. Yeah, but if the house that I'm going to buy, it's not a huge house, I'm not trying to impress people. I just want to have an extra bedroom or two for the babies. Hello. and it's only $100 more than what I'm paying in rent. And if I can qualify for programs where my down payment is only $3,000 for a single family residence in California, fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy. Right? Mhm. Make these moves not to impress people, but to get you positioned in a way that really, really can set you up later down the line. You know what ended up happening? Everyone criticized me for the house that I picked. It was well under the amount of the loan that we were approved for. And I was like, I'm not spending that whole amount. Are you kidding me? Uh-uh. You're crazy. You're crazy. I'm not going to spend that whole amount. So I do believe I picked a home that was um, over 100,000 less than the maximum amount of the loan. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, that house is so small and this and that. Who comes to visit me? No one comes to visit me. No one comes over. I just need room for my babies. Are you kidding me? I don't need to impress you." And so that's what I chose. And then guess what happened? We stayed there for a couple years. And then one day we found out the house was double the amount that we paid for it. And everyone told me not to sell. They told me not to. And guess what we did? We sold it. And everyone was like, "You're not going to get what you want for the house." And the realtor, she priced it very aggressively. And then we came up with this plan of, if we don't get any offers at the end of like 2 weeks or so, then we'll go ahead and we'll drop the amount. And guess what? The final day, right before she was going to drop the amount, we got a full offer, the full asking price. And then guess what else? Because I was so scared to leave California, but I was trusting in my soul. Guess what else happened? It's a small business owner who purchased the house. And so they needed a quick close. Within 7 days, I had that money. Double the price of what we purchased with only $3,000 down. All of that led me to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. Was that all pre-planned? No. But when my soul speaks, I listen. When my soul speaks, I listen. And you know who was telling me not to do these things? Not to buy that house, not to sell now, not this price, not realtors in my family. And I was just like, it's okay. That's okay. Don't worry. No, I don't want to rent my house out. I don't have money for that. Are you kidding me? And if they break it, like, no, I don't have money to fix that. I'm not renting it out. I'm selling it. I'm selling it. Everything that has happened for me that has been beneficial for me has never been because it was perfectly timed by me. It has never been because I went ahead and like created a business plan and this and that. No, it has always been because my soul has said, "Hey, we want you to have something. Do this really quick." But I don't want to. Just do it. Okay. And I do it. Yeah. Listen to your soul. Do you know how divinely guided you are? You don't think you're divinely guided? How'd you find me? Because I'll tell you things no one else will. How did you find me? Hmm? When did you find me? When you were at your lowest? You're ready to give up? Did you find me when you were ready for change? Did you find me when your life was falling apart and you asked creation, God, gods and goddesses, whoever, it don't matter to me. You asked some form of divinity to show you, to tell you, to guide you, and then suddenly I popped up out of nowhere. Don't tell me you're not divinely guided. People who don't resonate with me don't watch me. And the people who watch me, they resonate with me because they're just like me. You're being properly positioned right now. And if you don't get your head out of your booty crack, you're going to miss your opportunity. Now, I don't know if you're going to become ridiculously wealthy and have, chauffeurs and I don't know. But I mean, is it not enough to simply not remain in the situation that you're in? Is that not enough anymore? Is that not enough? And to be so thankful for the situation that you're in that you finally dissolve the blockages that will allow you to travel to other situations that are more worthy of you. See, we want to get from point A to point Z, but we fail to realize the labyrinth of letters that you will travel through before you get to point Z. Wherever you're at right now, it's not your end destination. And for those that are really resonating with this reading, you're being prepared to be brought somewhere else. And if you're going to still, just feel badly for yourself, I don't blame you. Hey, sometimes we need time to process. But let me tell you from life experience, you can feel badly for yourself, be depressed, have anxiety, and still make power plays. Now, you want me to say it again? You can be all of that sadness and lowness and still make power plays. Yeah. Yeah. Case in point. Is it March? This past March? Or maybe April. I'm not sure. I think it was April. Maybe May. April. No, April. So this past April, someone who has been a very, very close friend for quite some time now, and my children are very close to them. They decided they were going to go ahead and try and tear me down because I asked a question. Oh, that hurt my heart so bad. Not because I lost a friend, but because I was right about them. It hurt my heart so bad. I felt so sad. So sad. Sad that I repeated that cycle. And now, because I've repeated that cycle and allowed it to get as intimate as it got, is going to affect my kids. Yeah. I was sad. I was sad that I didn't halt that before I got to that point where they felt they were in a position to try and tear my sense of self away from me. You know what I did? I went and found the two most amazing board members I could have ever possibly gotten in exchange for one fake family. I gained a whole new one. I still made the moves. Even in sadness, even feeling low, I still made the moves. It's okay. You can feel whatever you feel when you're feeling it, but never ignore what your soul is telling you to do. Never. You can feel all the emotions that you feel and still adhere to the guidance of your soul. I will never forsake the guidance of my soul. Even if I don't understand, I will tell my soul, I don't understand. Mofo, you better help me understand as I'm doing this, because don't be messing with me. Don't play games with me, soul. Right? Do you have to know all the details before you agree? When it comes to other people, yes, you do. When it comes to your soul, no, you don't. Not at all. Not at all. You just have to trust ever so deeply that your soul is always looking out for you. It might not be an easy path, but I promise you, when you get to where your soul is taking you, it'll all make sense. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Okay? Prosperity in reverse. For many of us, we're going to experience a period where we feel a lack of prosperity. And what I've realized, what I've learned, whenever I experience periods like that, my soul is clearing out all the old energy so that it doesn't commingle with the new, so that it doesn't, any old toxicity will not taint the new energy that's being given to me, the new opportunities, and all of that. These things that I'm being prepared to begin enjoying, right? Summer in reverse. So there are things that are going to continue to intensify. And if you don't properly prepare yourself now, by summer, things are going to be upside down for you. But here's the thing, there's always some type of positivity that's interlaced with whatever negativity you experience. Anytime my life goes upside down, that means all the bullshit's being cleared out. All the bullshit's being cleared out. The BS people who have BS intentions, they're being cleared out. It's a spring cleaning. That's what's going on. Every single time that happens in my life, it's a spring cleaning. And you have to see it in that way. You have to allow your soul to function in the way it is trying to function. See, what I don't understand is this, and I'm part of the group that does this. That's why I don't, yeah, but what I don't understand is we will so willingly volunteer ourselves and go along with the most tyrannical people, right? We will quietly follow behind people who demand the most asinine, obnoxious, out of pocket things from us. And we will stay quiet on it because we want to maintain a peace that doesn't exist. The moment our soul begins to give us solutions to problems that we have volunteered to marinate ourselves in, we start to fight our soul. So your soul is trying to get rid of some guy that has been treating you poorly. So there's all this drama. He's broken up with you. Instead of being like, oh, thank you, soul. I wasn't going to be able to do that. I wasn't going to be able to break up with him. Thank you, soul, for causing him to break up with me and then closing the door and locking it. Deadbolt that biznatch. Oh, no, no. Many of us will be like, but I love him. I can make it work. You can't. I know that was harsh, but I can't coddle the fuckery that you've been putting upon yourself. You can't make it work if someone doesn't want to work on it with you. Stop seeking out the people who are capable and willing of punishing you in the way that you think you deserve to be punished. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this because I want you to succeed and be happy and have space for the people who can and will love you in the way you deserve. This is not the space where I'm going to be coddling any of that. If I can believe in you to the depth that I do, you better start believing in yourself. If you can survive and make it through life with that type of bullshit in your sacred space, in your home, in your bed, baby boo, you have no idea the kind of strength you have developed in the time you've been training for life. Because that's what you're doing. You're training for life through all of that ugliness. Right? So now that you're aware, give yourself the time to process, to digest what I just said. That message is not going to be for everyone, but when it's for you. I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But here's the thing. You're going to feel torn apart when you continue to be a barnacle to the very whale of an asshole that you've selected thus far. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a mistake. It's an opportunity to learn. to the utmost degree. That's it. That's it. I believe every relationship that we enter into is a relationship that will teach us something that no one else can. Not because the person is a good teacher, but because the person is capable of co-creating the types of circumstance that will teach us. It's not the people who come across our path that teach us. It's the circumstances we co-create with them that we learn from. Stop giving them credit for you surviving their pain. I would have never made it without. Yeah, you would. That's why when you guys tell me, I wouldn't have made it without you. Yes, you would have. I probably gave you more clarity than other people could because my ADHD removes my filter. And I'm just blunt as fuck. And maybe that's what you needed, and that's why you came across me. But I promise you, even if you never found me, you'd still get through that because that's all you know how to do. Get through one crappy situation after another. You've survived even before that person arrived. Really think about your life, seriously. And everyone's life goes like this. Yeah, no, there's no one who has a perfect life, please. You go from one crappy situation to another and you survive that and that and that and that and that. And then it's a string of crappy situations. And then you start to convince yourself, like, that's all life is. It's crappy. No, life is whatever you choose it to be. And if what you continue to choose is the same repetition, the same cycles with the same players, they might be different characters, but they play the same effing role in your life. The punisher, the saboteur. They are justifications of ways in which you waste your ability to manifest. You can manifest a good life. Whatever your definition of good is, you can manifest that. You can make it happen. See, the spiritualist will tell you that all you have to do is make a vision board and declare it. And no, that's not how it works. The vision board can help you stay focused. The mantras can continue to remind you and help to slowly reprogram your mind. You want to do it quickly and efficiently? I'll show you how. Stop giving a fuck about the people's opinions who never were there when you needed them the most. Do what you need to do. You know, when we were leaving California, when we were moving from California, because everything we know, everyone we love is in California. And everyone was like, what? You can't move from California. Where are you going to go? To Narnia. You can't move from California. You're crazy. What about your kids? Motherfuckers, do you babysit for me? When was the last time I asked you to babysit? Never? Right. When was the last time you asked to come over and visit? Never? Right. When was the last time you came to visit when I invited you? Never? Right. So what the fuck does it matter? Oh, but you're not going to be 30 minutes away. Pretend I am. Still tight. So often we need something. Pretend I'm still 30 minutes away. It's all good. It's all good. Stop worrying about the opinions of people who are never there when you needed them the most. The opinions of people who never have anything good to say to you, who can never genuinely celebrate your accomplishments, who tear you down when you're in a space of celebrating yourself, who try and convince you, like, oh, you're so selfish for existing. I'm selfish for existing. Gotcha. Okay. Basura. That's a trash ass statement. No, stop listening to those people. Do what you need to do. Position yourself in a way that your soul is asking you to position yourself. Invocation in reverse. You don't need to invoke anything. You got all of this on your own. Listen to that. Hear that again. I'm going to say it again. Go, both your ears. Shake it up real quick. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Swallow, swallow, swallow. Clear your nose. Ready? You could do it all yourself. You could do it all yourself. You absolutely can. You can. You absolutely can. No, you can't. And that's why you can't, because you don't believe in yourself. That's why you can't. For many of us, part of the reason why we fail at manifestation is because right as it's about to become manifest, we pull our energy back because, and then everything falls apart and you wonder why it falls apart. And I do this too. I'm not just, pointing it out and trying to call you out. And no, I'm calling all of us out. I do this too. I do it too. It's all good. It's part of your learning. So now try the opposite of what you normally do. You pull back, push forward, see what happens. Really commit to something, see what happens. And whatever it is you're committing to, because I heard someone, they're like, I'm going to really commit to him. Knock it off. Commit to yourself, not to someone else. Commit to yourself is what I'm saying. What the hell? What the hell? Don't commit to him. Is he going to feed you? Is he going to house you and feed you and cherish you as he does this? Because if he's going to do all of that and make you feel like shit while he does it, that's not an equal exchange. That's not cherishing you, taking care of you. That's prepaying for their access to you so they can continue to maltreat you. Fuck out of here with that shit. I don't think so, baby boo. I don't think so. Don't make me actually act like your mama. I will go there, pick you up, get you out of that space. Nope. No, I tell you, people get you convinced that because they provide the necessities for you, that they love you, but they mistreat you because you piss them off and they're stressed out because they have to provide. No, that is a prepayment for their access to you so they can continue to mistreat you. My narcissistic father used to say that I was ungrateful. And I was like, well, you're horrible. I'm ungrateful because you're horrible. Because you're horrible. I don't need to have gratitude for the ways in which you pay for your access into my life so you can continue to mistreat me. I used other words, of course. I used other words, but that was a sentiment that I was conveying, right? Let yourself finally experience sovereignty. Balance in reverse. If you can find your balance even when you're upside down, it's still balance. The more efficient way to deal with that topic of balance, because if your goal is to simply balance, you're going to continue to exert energy, focus, time into balancing, right? It's a balancing act. However, whether you're upside down, sideways, right side up, inside out, if you can find your space of center by virtue of that centeredness, you will naturally have balance. That takes no effort, right? The spiritual people will tell you balance is key. We have to have balance. Balance is not key. Balance is a distraction. Tell you guys, my brain does not work the same as other people's brain. I look for the most efficient, most feasible solution to any circumstance. If it's not feasible long term, it's not a solution to me. I don't look for band-aids. I'm a surgeon. I approach things with surgical precision. What is the most efficient, effective way to do it? Centeredness. You won't have to F around with balance. You'll already be balanced if you're centered. Even with chaos all the way around me, I'm centered. And just because I'm centered does not mean I don't feel all the emotions that one feels as they experience high levels of stress. But I'm still centered. I'm still functional. I can do it. I can do it. I will do it. And you won't stop me. That's how it works. In my life, that's how it works. The moment I decide something, that's what I'm doing. You don't want me to do it? Tell me why. Don't try to convince me. Share with me your reasoning. If your reasoning resonates, I will pause and consider Am I making a misstep? And dependent on how I feel, that's what's going to decide for me. It's not because you were able to convince me. It's because you shared a component that caused me to reconsider things from different viewpoints. And now I've changed my mind of the way I'm going to approach this circumstance. I am a sovereign. That means I have the utmost authority in my life. No one, and I promise you, no one will be dictating anything to me. You want to try dictating things to me and expect me to follow? I'll flick you in your nose. It's just violent enough. It's not excessively violent. It's just enough. It'll make your eyes water. And then you'll ask me. It'll throw you off your center. You'll ask me, "What'd you do that for?" I don't know. I don't know. You flicked me in my nose. I know. I saw my hand do it. Are you all right? And they're going to be like, "Why did you just flick me?" I don't know. I heard you talking and then suddenly I saw my hand flicking you in the nose. Are you all right? Just enough violence. Get them off their high horse. I'm saying, you want to fuck around and find out? I'll flick you in your nose. I will. If that's what you need, I'm saying. Choices. You're going to be convinced by someone or something, circumstance, or a person that you don't have any other options. They're liars. Flat out, they're liars. You always have options. You always have options. I'm telling you. You always have options. You always have a different direction that you can choose to go. Don't listen to anyone who tells you you have no other options. You have no options based on their limited perception of the situation. See, they're viewing from the outside. You're inside. They don't see the trapdoor you can use to escape that. I'm saying, I'm serious. Right? They don't see the trapdoor that you could use to escape that entire burning inferno. They're telling you there's no other option because they don't see any other option. That doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that they can see from your vantage point, because if you're inside the dwelling and they're outside, they don't see what you have in your vicinity. They don't see that. And you can't expect other people to see for you the things that you're refusing to see for yourself. Self-worth. Your worth should always be determined by you, not by people's ability to respect you, cherish you, accept who you are, and all of that. No, it shouldn't. Your worth should always, always, always be determined strictly by you. That's it. That is it. All right. Individuality. It's okay for you to be an individual. Your worth is not contingent on how closely you could adhere to that herd mentality. You are not a fucking cow. You're not a cow. You are not some type of livestock. You can't operate with herd mentality and ever truly be a sovereign. Sovereigns think for themselves. They decide for themselves, because really a sovereign, they understand only they will have to be forced to deal with the outcome of whatever they choose. You take an advice from people who don't have to deal with the outcome of what they advise you to do. Not good. That is not good. Not good. I remember years ago, I was maybe like 8 or 9, and like my parents bought a computer. It was like very early on, one of the first home computers, right? So my parents bought a computer, and then something wasn't working, and one of my cousins came over. He's like much older, right? I think he's like in his I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, and yeah, everyone in the family always portrayed him as being like extremely intelligent and, so successful. So in my 8-year-old head, I'm thinking, oh, he'll know about computers because he works in an office with computers. And this fool went into the computer programming itself and he changed a whole bunch of settings. And when he was done, the computer wouldn't even turn on at all. And then my dad asked me what I did to the computer, and I was like, "Oh, so and so came over, and I asked him if he could check it, and he clicked on a whole bunch of stuff, and now it won't turn on." And then when my father called him, he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't touch the computer." So I got in trouble for that. So instead of taking it back to the store to get it reprogrammed, um, my father just simply returned it and said that I was irresponsible. Yeah. And that I didn't deserve a computer for schoolwork because I'm so irresponsible. And see, it's so easy for people to give you advice and do things when they don't have to be held accountable for what they're doing. That was a lesson that stuck with me for my entire life. Whenever I begin to listen to someone, I remember that. I remember what my cousin did. And I remember him like looking at me like, and he's like, I didn't touch that. And he looked at me like, back up my story. And like, no, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Why are you lying? Yeah, no, he kept denying it too. Does that make him a bad person? No, it just makes him someone who doesn't want to take accountability for the shit that he does. But most people are like that. They don't want to take accountability for the things that they do. And these are the people whose advice you're taking. And some of you might be like, well, Emmy, you're giving us advice. No, I'm telling you in a very adamant way to think for yourself, decide for yourself. That's what I'm doing. You should never take someone else's advice if it doesn't resonate with what you've already been considering for yourself. All of my readings are structured to serve as confirmation for information and guidance your soul has already been giving you. It's not to give you new guidance, it's to reiterate what's already been said. High Priestess of Air, you're going to become really, really good with communications because you're going to be forced into it. If you don't choose it, you're going to be forced into it through situation. This is a period where you're going to not just retrieve your voice, you are going to learn how to use the voice you've retrieved. It's not enough to find your voice if you're not going to do anything with it, right? If all you're going to do is whine and complain about things rather than communicate and assert, then there was no point in finding your voice. There was none. There was no point in it. You have to allow every experience to exist within you in the most highest way it possibly can exist. Everything that I go through is teaching me something ridiculously profound. And I refuse to lose any of my lessons, to ignore, to pretend. I refuse to do those things anymore. I'm going to be fully present and learn everything I possibly can. So, invisible. Someone's watching. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple people are watching you, watching the moves you make. Um, I think for some, this is someone who admires you. Um, I want to be careful about this because I know that there are mentally unstable people in this world who will take what I'm saying right now and they will use it as a justification for their um, flawed logic and very gross overstep into your boundaries and sacred space. Uh, it's this sense of there are those who will experience this in a good way, and then those who will experience this in a negative way. For those who are trying to force themselves on others, stop being a fucking weird asshole. For real. There are billions of people in this world. Pick one of them that want your attention. Okay? Dial down the aggression. I know they're assholes. I know. It's okay, girl. Yeah, no, those people, I'm not talking to you. Don't use me as an excuse for the continuation of whatever mental disturbances going on. I'm not even trying to like be funny. I'm being very real right now. If that's a mental disturbance, you need licensed medical assistance to correct that. And y'all, if you're the recipient of mental illness fixations, their illness does not suddenly obligate you to be the recipient of their behavior. I cannot emphasize that enough. You are not the asshole for allowing yourself to step back and be like, this is too much for me. If it is too much for you to handle, it is too much for you to handle. You are not licensed in that field. Unless you are, at which point you better do something about that. If you're not a licensed professional in the field that someone else is trying to force you to operate within, I mean, what would you say to a loved one who's telling you to do cardiothoracic surgery on them? Would you be like, "Oh, okay, oh, I don't want you to feel abandoned. Okay, I will. I will lay down on the kitchen table." Right? Hey, it's the same thing with mental health. It's the same thing with mental health. If you don't have the capacity to truly, genuinely help because you lack the training, the understanding, the knowledge to be of help, stop offering. Work on your own mental health during this time. Too many of us have been programmed in such a way where we believe we must be the whipping girl and boy for every single circumstance. Like, I'm strong enough to carry your pain, so hurt me. It doesn't take away their pain. It just ensures both of you are now hurting. It doesn't take away their pain. It doesn't. And as a matter of fact, I found that when we coddle people's insecurities, we confirm them. We make them that much more real for the person, not just for us. There's a lot that goes on with the human psychology and with mental illness. There's literally a lot, a lot. Oftentimes, neurodivergence, because people with mental illness, their brain, it diverges from normal function. That's considered technically a neurodivergent. Neurodivergents do not process information in the same way that you do. Two neurodivergents will not process information in the same way that you do. They won't process the same as each other. No, they won't. So it's best to leave that to someone who has a capacity to factor in all of those components. Work on you. You can still be supportive and not offer yourself up in their place. You got to stop confusing the two. Trapped. See what I'm saying? Trapped in reverse. You're not trapped. You're not trapped. You're just being convinced that you are, either because of that obligatory existence program or because they've really done a number on your perception. I'm not saying people with mental illness are bad people. I have mental health struggles myself. I do. It's not something I have to be ashamed of. I don't live with the stigma of that. I am a whole person, even with those struggles. So it's not me trying to shame people with mental health struggles. It's me trying to help you understand you're not going to be their savior. Not when they won't let you. Autopsychotherapy is actually extremely effective. And when you pair autopsychotherapy with CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, and you pair that with EMDR, EDMR, EMDR, eye movement desensitization, something. My fucking dyslexia sucks ass. Hold on, let me see, because this is gonna drive me nuts. EMDR therapy. Well, I gotta see. EMDR therapy. Eye movement desensitization and processing. See, I was right. I was right. It is EMDR. EMDR is really good for PTSD. Oh, what? Oh, no. So, what does EMDR therapy do? Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy is a mental health treatment technique. This method involves moving your eyes a specific way while you process traumatic memories. EMDR's goal is to help you heal from trauma or other distressing life experiences. It causes a triggering in your brain function that when you're processing traumas, it takes you right back there so you can actually process it. I had it done once and it brought back a past life memory of something. No, it's not that. It's not eye memory desensitizing. No, it's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Eye movement desensitization. I gotta keep going. High priestess of water. So you have the air, you have the water. You're entering into a higher level of function for yourself in your life. You have to give yourself the time and the space to do this. Oath. You took an oath to reach a certain level of development in this life. That's usually a Paladorian contract. You will not be able to renege whatever you made an oath for. Okay. Surrender. Do not surrender to other people's demands. Allow yourself to make informed decisions. Okay. Time out. If the environment that you're in doesn't allow you the time and the space, the quiet and the stillness to begin processing so you can make an informed decision, you got to take some time out of there. Hold on to your integrity. Allow yourself to be aware of the ways in which someone else's presence is affecting your integrity. I don't have time. I was going to go to the gym, but I don't have time. The gym's too far to get back on time. Emotions. Emotions are upside down. When your emotions go upside down, oftentimes it will potentially affect the degree of integrity that you're operating from. It doesn't mean necessarily you will lose all your integrity, but it means you'll be open to doing things that question your integrity. Celestial teacher. Oh, Lord. Okay. Just got to stretch my lats out. I just got a really sickening message. I ain't even gonna lie. It's a really sickening message. The celestial teacher in reverse. For those of you who practice things with galactics, angelics, other beings, etheric, astral, be very, 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 very careful during this period. It ties into mimicry and attempts to coerce you into agreement, into alliance. They're attempting to manifest an event. It's a collective level event. And they need more people to feed energy into it. If you're very new into speaking with angelics, speaking with galactics, speaking with etheric and astral beings, all of that, even if you're very well versed with that, be very careful. Some of the ways that parasitic things will function, it will mimic something that you already trust, a person, a being that you already trust. And unless you have such a deep, intimate connection with that being, it's like you raising chicks from eggs. You hatch the chicks yourself, and you've spent hours upon hours upon hours with the chicks, and they all look like little puffballs, but you see their personalities and the differences in their eyes and their beaks and their feet and the way they walk and their little mannerisms, their favorite places within the enclosure. So you kind of know who they are. You know them by name, right? You know them so intimately, versus me coming to a petting farm and thinking, oh, they're little chickies. Yeah, I won't know what chickie is what. I won't know. They're primarily going to be attempting for the ones who have experience and have cultivated some abilities. You got to be very careful during this time. Okay, I'm not trying to instill fear. I'm trying to prepare you so that you can use even higher levels of discernment should you be one of the ones that are tried. Okay. Yeah, this right here. Yep. This right here. There is a push from parasites masquerading as light and love, getting people to take down their defenses. Just a word of actual advice from me. I know most of you trust me so deeply. You feel so comfortable and so safe with me. Shield up even in my presence. Keep your shields up at all times. And when you feel something weird, add more shields. I like to make this analogy with my students because people often think like, oh, I should only shield when something bad is happening. No. Do you only wear skin when you are entering into a biohazard zone? No. You wear skin all the time. Every single moment of your life, you wear your skin. Always have your shields up. The moment you begin to feel something weird, not just here, but whenever you're out, add more shields. Thicken those shields. It's very important. Very, very, very important. You always need to be shielded. And if it's this thing of, but how will I connect with you? Honey, I can get through your shield. It doesn't matter how many shields you have. I can still feel you. I can still sense you. I can still see in. Like, you don't have to worry about that. What you do have to do is make sure that just because you are in the presence of someone you trust, someone that you feel has integrity, that does not mean that there aren't those who don't have integrity lurking. Those who don't have integrity, they're oftentimes opportunists. They are oftentimes opportunistic people or beings. Always be shielded, always protect your energy. It's important. It's important. Yes, I go out of my way when you're in this space with me to make sure that your energetic field is not tampered with. And, for those of you who know me, I'm very heavy handed in that. Like, nope, don't be coming around here doing energy work on my people. You will fucking get some reaction out of me. But even with that, you always have to be held accountable for the way you hold your shields. Okay. So just be aware of that. Celebration. I think after all the things, the precautions that you're going to take, you're going to have something to finally celebrate. Okay. It's not always doom and gloom. If you follow your intuition, a lot of the unnecessary things will be avoided. You won't have to experience things that are not necessary for you to learn. Shadow self. Part of what's happening is really this need for you to begin tapping more into your shadow self. Hidden within your shadow are elevations of um, abilities and gifts. These are your abilities and your gifts that you have access to in this lifetime. The reason it's hidden in the shadows is not because you're working with demonic things. Like, come on, get out of that space of fear. It's hidden in the shadows because we intrinsically have within us a naturally existing survival based fear of the dark, right? That's part of the last bits of the terrestrial being we were hybridized with. So typically, when things get dark, that terrestrial being, that earth based being, is at a disadvantage of predators consuming them. So there's that fear. Now, we don't have to have that fear anymore, but we do take time. Quite a bit of our life is spent on developing enough maturity to lose the fear of the darkness. And that's why a lot of your abilities are hidden away in the dark aspects of your shadow self. Okay. It's just to give you the time to develop the maturity that's necessary to responsibly harness and wield the abilities that have been hidden there. Patience. Quite a few of us are losing patience with the process that we're in. I don't blame you, but losing that patience is probably going to be a surefire way to further complicate your situation. So be patient. Okay. Try your best, dig a little deeper. Try and be as patient as you possibly can. It's hard, but you're worth it. You're worth the process. New chapter in reverse. This is the same old thing that you've been dealing with. Maybe the same old relationship, same old person. I don't know, but it's not a new chapter. It's not a new thing. Shine. This is someone or something that's been trying to dull your shine for a very long time. Someone who's maybe been maltreating you in a mental or emotional way. When someone emotionally and mentally maltreats you, that's a very difficult thing to overcome. It's not impossible, but it's very challenging. It sticks with you for a very long time, right? I completely understand that when someone has received enough maltreatment emotionally and mentally, it's almost a surefire way of ensuring that you remain there, that you remain so afraid and unsure that you never actually ever leave. I get that. I do. No one wants to be treated poorly. You don't stay because you're weak. You stay because the programs have been very effective in distorting your perception of yourself. I believe when you're done, you'll leave. Maybe you're not quite done yet. Do I believe you should stay? No, I don't. Is it my place to tell you to leave? No, it's not. So, what can I do? Let you know that there are many people just like me who care, who, if you reach out, we can and will help in whatever way we can. That there are organizations that exist that can and will help you to get out. Okay. For some people, the situation is so intense that if you were to just leave, that would endanger you, literally endanger you. So it's not anyone's place to tell you how to leave, when to leave, or to leave at all. But it is my place to remind you there are more people than just me who exist, who have the capacity, the willingness, the ability, and the desire to get you independent again. This is part of the reason. And this is not just women, okay? Women and men are both experiencing this type of circumstance across the world. And this is part of the reason why I've been so passionate about really getting started all of our soul work, synergistic work, all of my nonprofit ministries work. This is the type of thing that we are existing to correct, to provide people with a new way, a new hope, a new start. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll definitely get there. We have to do it appropriately. We can't rush this process of creating the necessary internal structuring for the nonprofit. We will get there, though. We won't stop. My entire board is so focused and so committed. There's no way we can't. There's no way we won't. But in the interim, until we get there, explore local organizations that could potentially give you maybe legal advice, or maybe they can provide you services, something to kind of just help tide you over until you're ready to go. Okay? I don't want you to feel badly for the situation that you're in. I want you to know that there are people who recognize what you're quietly, very, very silently suffering through. It doesn't have to be that way forever. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Okay? It might continue that way today, maybe even tomorrow, maybe through to next week. But at some point, you will make a decision, and the appropriate people, whether they're just random strangers or it's a full-on organization, they will cross your path, and you will be provided with everything you need to liberate yourself from the program. Okay? So don't feel badly. Don't feel, discouraged. Direction in reverse. So for this card, it really gives me this sense of like, it's not that you're lost. It's that you have to go back. Back to what? I don't know. But that's a sense. You have to reverse. You have to go back. First, you have to rejuvenate yourself. Okay? You have to pull your energy back to yourself. And maybe that's what you're going back to. You're going back to you. Judgment in reverse. So either something is going to be overturned. Oh my God. What else are they going to overturn? So either something is going to be overturned, or a decision you previously made, you will be changing your mind. Okay? Attract in reverse. It's almost like your energy is repelling people. It's pushing people away. I'm wondering if you're entering into a survival state where it's suddenly super cold. I'm wondering if you're entering into like some type of survival mode where, to protect yourself, you're pushing everyone away. Be careful of that. Okay? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying be careful of that, because for many people who use that as like a trauma response, they end up regretting it later, right? So, and I'm one of those people too. When I get traumatized, um, especially if it's a certain type of trauma, I have a tendency to push everyone away and be much more reactive and abrasive in order to push everyone away. So that way I could just kind of be alone, be on my own. Be careful of that, because for some of us, it's like that very trauma response is going to be the way that parasitic things trap you into the situation that you're in. Okay. We all need someone else at some point. We all need someone else to help us at some point. You can't have this ongoing perpetual logic of you don't need anyone. Yes, you do. At some point you will. You can be as independent as you want, but eventually at some point you will. So just make sure that you are aware, because if you're like me and I've pushed you away and I don't know how to get you back. I don't. I'll just be like, well, I did that. Well, I done did it now. Okay, well, they probably hate me. So I'm going to leave it at that. Right? I lack the ability. I lack the ability to know how to fix the absolute fuckery that I create through my trauma responses. So I'm just like, So be careful. Don't create situations that you will struggle to fix later. Parasitic. Their desire is to get you upside down within yourself. And if they can get you upside down within yourself, you will see everything inverted. Arcturian activation in reverse. They're trying to prevent self-healing. Okay. When you go into trauma responses of any kind, that will really pause, possibly even undo a lot of your self-healing journey that you've already successfully done. Okay. So be careful, be aware. We're not being victimized here. These are just things that you have to be aware of. So that way, as you continue to push forward, you can continue to progress with minimal struggle. If you are being triggered by the things that I'm talking about, I think that's because you are recognizing a lot of this applies to you. It's very triggering to not be able to avoid, deflect. I get it. I'm the exact same way. It's very, very triggering. But here's the thing. I hope that you're able to recognize, at the very least, regardless of how triggered you're feeling, that I'm coming from a place of love and empowerment. Okay. The things that I'm talking about is not simply to point out how you're messing up, because I don't feel like you're messing up. I feel like you're being prepared to be launched forward like the arrow that you are. And we just have to get all of our mental components together and be able to clearly see the process that we're in, so we can finally reach the point where we let go. And as you let go, you are launched forward, because really all of this backsliding, it's nothing but the arrow, you being pulled back to load a charge into the bow. However far you're pulled back, it will be amplified as you are pushed forward. So don't worry. Don't worry. Don't get down on yourself about, oh my gosh, I'm going backwards. No, that's the way the arrow goes. Self-acceptance. You got to accept yourself. You have to accept all of the things that are part of the situation you're living in. Not accept as though that's it, that's all there is. No, you have to accept that this is what's happening. You have to accept the reality of what's being done, the reality of how you are potentially co-creating, not potentially. That's me trying to tiptoe around your feelings. You actively co-create every situation you experience with other people. If what you are co-creating right now is making you unhappy, this should tell you that you have the power to co-create a different type of experience. Okay? Either by choosing to walk away or choosing to have a very challenging conversation, because sometimes people will co-create difficulty for us because they just don't realize it's difficult for us, right? But yeah, no, we need to accept the situations instead of making excuses. So that way we can begin really selecting solid options of which solutions we can implement. Okay. Card number 33, Metamorphosis. This is going to completely change you and your entire life. It's going to change you. And it's something that's going to lead you to a place of personal power. And whatever that place is, it's a place where you belong. I know you already have this preconceived notion of where you belong, right? You have this idea of you belong in this specific type of house in that specific city with these specific people. And sometimes our concepts are very, very distorted. Sometimes the thoughts that we have about ourselves and our lives and our plan for our life becomes very distorted, especially by social media, by societal pressures, societal norms, religious, spiritual, social, cultural programs, all of that. So just kind of take some time to pause and reassess about the way you see yourself, the way you see your life, what you want, you in. Card number 46, royal return. You're going to return back to a space of royalty. Your crown is going to be given back to you, your energetic crown. And once you have your crown on your head again, never get off your throne. Never abdicate your royal spaces. Do not give your power away ever again. Okay? You are going to return back to the original state that you were intended to be in. It's going to be a process to get there. It's most likely going to be viscerally felt, and it's most likely going to be something that really makes you cry. Crying is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of helplessness. It's not a waste of time. You know, people, I had someone once tell me, like, why do you cry so much? It doesn't solve anything. I wasn't crying to solve the problem. I was crying to release a lot of this pent up emotion that I've held in my entire life in order to maintain a peace that never actually existed. Yeah. I mean, we don't cry to solve things. Are you? That's obnoxious, right? That's obnoxious. But sometimes when you've held so much in for so long, you need to cry to release it. And sometimes, because some people be like, you can talk it out. You don't have to cry. Okay. Well, good for you, Mr. or Mrs. I'm emotionally detached from my reality. That's fine. Good for you. But for real people who have real feelings and are ready to truly grow, not just pretend or have this aesthetic of spiritual growth, but actually truly experience spiritual expansion, expansion of awareness. I'm here to tell you it's okay if you need to cry, even if it's cry for a couple days. You let out whatever you need to let out. You know, sometimes because people see us as being so strong, since we hide all of our struggles so well, sometimes we don't have people that we feel safe venting to, speaking to. I know many of us feel this way. Many of us, even though we're surrounded by so many people, they're also accustomed to us being the strong one in the group, that seeing us feel even just a little bit unstable, a little bit emotional, makes them so uncomfortable. That's okay. You're strong enough to be your own shoulder to cry on. And when you've released enough, I hope you also can release the people who are only around for the benefit. And when you've let those people go, I hope you allow the people who have the capacity to be the foundation of your internal palace to come into your life and hold space where you can be interdependent, not codependent, where you can be each other's shoulders. It needs to be mutually beneficial. There needs to be reciprocity. And the people who can't allow you to experience your emotions genuinely for once, I have the courage to say it. They're a fucking waste of your time, not worthy of you. Have big balls you'll ever see. I'm telling you, it's okay for you to make that determination as well. That you've wasted your time on these type of people. They serve as bottomless pits. They don't need your help. They want to feed. It's okay. I can have the courage for both of us to speak the truth that needs to be said. There are people who exist who are like that. Not everyone is like that. And that's what we have to remember. We have to allow ourselves to gravitate to the people who are mirrors of the goodness within us, who can be there for us the way we choose to be there for them, and not be there for us because they're obligated, but because they're a reflection of how we love other people. You see, we make the mistake of wasting time trying to teach someone to function with the type of heart we have when they are, in fact, heartless. Stop trying to make someone into a reflection of you and instead allow the people who already are your reflection to enter into your life. I think for many of us, we don't allow people who are reflections of us to exist in our lives because we're afraid they'll see our insecurity. But here's the thing. They have the same insecurities buried just as deep as you. And the moment the two of you allow the warmth of that camaraderie to penetrate into the soil, you'll see those insecurities were actually that be your words that buy for the two of you. We have to recognize why we're drawn to people who don't help to nurture us. We are drawn to them because we think if they need us, if I give you enough, I don't care if you're a bottomless pit. That actually helps me and my logic. If I give you enough, then you will be dependent on me. And if you are a bottomless pit that is dependent on me, I will have solidified my place in your life forever. You can never reject me. Honey, they reject you every day anyways. Even when you give, they reject you. So let go of that logic. Stop existing in that way. Allow yourself to finally enter into a space where you are surrounded by people who are reflections of the goodness that you are, not reflections of your desire to punish yourself just so you won't be alone. These are things I used to do. I did them for quite some time. Let's be completely transparent. I finally began to stop doing that. I still once in a while find myself starting to do this again and I halt it, but I finally made the decision to stop probably like 3 years ago. Yeah. So I've done it most of my life. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. When you stop adhering to those programs that keep you entrapped in the cycles that you are so desperate to exit, you'll see that no cycles actually exist, that you really are just living, and the choices you made were the very things you once believed were cycles that you couldn't exit. All we have is the now and the now and the now and the now and the now. But when you continue to bring an old now into the current now and let it bleed out into the future now, it becomes something very difficult. Growth in reverse. Sometimes the growth occurs beneath the surface of the soil. And I think that's what's happening for most of us. There is a growth that's occurring beneath the surface of the soil. So we feel like we assume because there's nothing tangible occurring, nothing that's tangible for other people who are watching us to prove that we're growing, that we're actually not. No, the people who are watching you as you grow, a large portion of them are not watching because they want you to grow and succeed. They're watching, waiting for you to falter and fail. Fuck those people. Focus on you and what you want. Focus on you and your purpose, okay? Your process. Purpose works too. I meant process, but purpose came out. I think for many of us, one of your purposes, because we have more than one purpose in our lifetime. One of your purposes is going to come front and center. because why would I say purpose rather than process? Awakening gnosis in reverse. You're not asleep. You can't wake someone up if they're only pretending to sleep. You can't wake someone up when they are simply forgetting to open their eyes as they blink, right? So you have this awareness and this knowing that's already within you. You need to begin taking some time to recognize why you're not aware of what you know. Okay. Have you been shamed in the past for being intelligent? Have you been programmed, conditioned to believe that no one wants to hear you, that you're inconvenient? And you know, the people who have convinced you that you're inconvenient are usually people who want to control you more easily, and it pisses them off that you question. So when people, this is what my logic is, when people have gone out of their way to make sure that they tell me that I'm inconvenient, make me feel inconvenient, difficult to handle, I remind myself, oh, you wanted to use me, but I made it difficult for you. You're reminding me that I'm such a powerful free thinker. Thank you for that. You're dismissed. I'm just saying, like, no, I don't need to be nice. I don't need to be nice. I don't need to be excessively rude and excessively savage. I can be if I choose to be, but I don't need to be nice. You're infringing on my sovereign space. You want me to beg you to leave me alone? No, I'm going to tell you you're dismissed. And if you don't leave, there's consequence. What's the consequence? Well, that depends. What mood am I in? What are you doing? How heavy do I want my reaction to be? It depends. You don't get a say in it, though. It's all up to me. It's okay for you to own your space to that degree. It really, truly is. Just know, though, the more heavy-handed your reaction and response, there is a potentiality that that person will use that to illustrate to others and help them join their cause of you're a bad person. I don't care about that because I know I'm not. And if people want to start a whole like brigade of bad Emmy brigade, let's take Emmy down. I don't give a shit. You're not going to stop me from my purpose. Whatever my purpose is, I'm going to keep up. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. And I don't care at this point what insecure people want of me, because they usually want me to be quiet and disappear. No, fuck you, bitches. Dispel darkness. Yeah, dismissed. Dispel it. Dispel it. Don't waste your time, your energy on any of that. Whatever. They want to come to you and tell you things to try and tear you down. Oh, that's cute. Oh, is there anything else you want to say? That's what I would say. Ancestral magic. You're not going to be counting on your ancestors to get you through this. This is a solo project. It's about you recognizing your power and you getting yourself into elevations within yourself. Okay? So that is a final card. I need to go eat. I'm hungry. So I'm going to go eat. I hope that today's reading really helps you to empower yourself, really helps you in your process. And just know you're literally not alone in the process you're in. There are millions upon millions of other people just like you and I. There's so many of us here. So many of us here. Don't feel alone, but there will be some things in your journey, in your process that you will have to do alone. Okay? Don't be scared to do it alone. And even if you are scared, that's okay. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. Heal anyways. Grow anyways. Walk forward anyways. So, guys, I am on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I've begun doing short videos. If you ask me questions on TikTok, then if I see it and I'm drawn to it, I'll do a video to answer you. I haven't gotten a chance to scan people who have asked for scans on TikTok. Eventually, I will. Eventually. But yeah, if you have some question, I'm not necessarily talking about a reading. I'm talking about questions about spirituality, concepts, topics, things like that. You can definitely ask me on TikTok. And aside from that, I shall see y'all again soon. Yes. 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 So give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, everyone.